Hello everyone and welcome to a new Hangout on Air. My name is Sibel and today we will be discussing traffic sources. So we will be looking into your analytics account and specifically focusing on the traffic sources report. We will discuss why is it important, why do we need to have it, and why out of all the standard reports today we are focusing on traffic sources report. So the first thing that traffic sources report shows us, as you can see in front of you on the screen, it tells you who are the visitors of your website. How did they find you, which is a very important aspect of the traffic source because it will give you a better understanding where are your customers at. How did they actually enter your website? How did they know about you? So that is something as well that is very important for you to know. And what are they doing? Which links are they clicking? How are they navigating? Was it through your website? Was it directly to your website? Was it because of other mediums or sources that they actually knew about you? So the traffic sources report would show you that as well. And finally, what are they worth to you? So it actually gives you a better understanding of the users that came from a certain place. Did they convert or not? So it shows you that information. Then it will give you a better understanding to see if the person that converted from one place did he convert more than a user that came from another place. So it will give you a better understanding which source or which area that is better for you. Where do you want your client to be, and what type of source do you want? This will become even more clearer throughout this presentation today. So to explain better traffic sources, we go into the report in analytics and we look into the 4 different buckets of traffic in Google Analytics. So the first thing you need to know is how the traffic sources report is categorized. What are the categories that you need to understand when you are on that report? First thing, you have the direct traffic, first bucket. The direct traffic would include all the users that typed your URL directly on the browser. So they went into Chrome, for instance, typed www.yourabc.com, which is your website, and they went directly into your website. So that's the first source of traffic, and that is what we call the direct traffic. We did discuss those types of traffic in earlier Hangouts, and we went into a general overview of them. So now today we're going to more discuss each type of bucket with a higher focus. So the first bucket, as I mentioned, is direct traffic. The second one is referrals. So in many cases, you have your website published, or your website is written on other websites, and when people are browsing those other websites, they see the link and they click on your link and enter your website directly. So that type of traffic would be considered as a referral, since the user was referred to your website. So that is the second traffic you need to keep an eye on or understand when you're looking at the traffic sources report. Third bucket, sorry about that, is the organic bucket, or the search. The search is divided into both. It's an organic or paid. When we discuss organic search, it's when a user goes into google.com, types in a certain keyword, lots of results come in. Those results, as long as they don't have the small ad icon, they're not considered paid results. However, they're considered natural or organic results. And when a user clicks on that website, they directly enter your website. So your website will just appear without the ad tag, and when you click, you do not pay for that click. However, you have the paid results, and that is when we discuss AdWords, for example, when you have an AdWords campaign targeting the search network. When the user writes a keyword there and a result comes out, your website is that result, and it has a small ad label near to it, and when users click on it and they actually pay, that is what we consider a search paid result, and it's thrown into the search result. And of course, campaigns, which would give you a better understanding of how many paid clicks you had, and it gives you it will be more of if someone clicked on your ad or clicked on your banner and they actually went into the website, so it will directly be given there. So the traffic sources report will show you under the search tab how many were paid versus how many were actually organic search results. Now, to look into more the traffic sources overview. So we go into the report. You have a general view of how many people visited your website. For example, on the screen in front of you, it's 21,835 people visited the website. And it shows you, and as you can see here, it shows you how many of each of those total visitors came from, let's say, came from search traffic, came from referral traffic, direct traffic, or campaigns. So campaigns as well, just need to note that, go back to campaigns. It as well involves people that reached you through your email advertising, for example, where you sent out emails and it had a small link, so people actually went into your website after receiving that email, so it is considered part of the campaign. So it's everything advertising pretty much set there. So it gives you an overview of how many people came from search traffic, referral traffic, direct traffic, and campaigns, so you'll have a better understanding where your users are coming from. Now, if you're not interested to know about visits, but you're interested to see the bounce rate, for instance, if someone enters to my website from an organic search result versus if someone enters my website from a referral, how long do they stay on that website? So if you go and you can filter by bounce rate, as you can see in front of you, and you can see here that that if you compare search traffic, referral traffic, and direct traffic, you can understand that people that are coming from, let's say, the referral traffic they have a certain bounce rate that is less or higher or lower than the people coming from direct traffic. And that way you'll start to explain or have a better understanding of why do people that are entering from a referral tend to not stay very long on the website and just leave the website very fast, hence the bounce rate is quite high, versus if they found you organically, they stay more on the website. A reason around that could be that the referral page is not very related to your product. So people that were on the referral page are not very much interested in your product. So they enter to the website, they see what the product is, they're not interested, they go out. However, with organic search results, they're actually searching for your keywords or for your product as well with the paid. So they tend to stay more on the website, hence the bounce rate is not very high. So that would give you a better understanding of how the consumer is acting around your website. Now, if we go into the all traffic report, it's quite critical because, and it helps you it allows you to have a good market analysis, because it shows you which channels of traffic are working well for you and which aren't. As well, it will go into piece by piece on source and medium. So the first thing you will notice, and the terms that you really need to know when you are studying the all traffic report, is source and source medium. So as you can see in front of you, you can see that you have Google as a source and a medium as an organic. To explain that, what is the difference between that? The source is where the user came from. It could be the search engine, the website linking to you. So in our case, in the example you see in front of you, the source was Google. People were on Google, and that's how they actually reached your website. Or they were on blog.amiria.net, and that's how they found your website and went and clicked on it and went to your website. Now, the medium is an overview. It's a general approach to it. It's how the user reached your site. So the source is the specific place that the user was on, and based on it, they went to your site. The medium is what is that type of that source? Is it organic? Is it paid? Is it a referral? That is the medium of things. For instance, you can see in front of you You have Google Organic and Google.com Referral. Both show that the user came from Google. However, the Google Organic means that a user actually went into google.com, typed a keyword, and that keyword triggered your website to appear organically, and people clicked on that website and went. So that's the medium. However, for the referral, it means that people were on google.com. They did not type anything. They're not searching. It's not an organic search result, but they saw your link and they actually clicked on that link and they went into your website. So that is a medium, that is a referral medium. Now, if let's say you're interested to know you just want to focus on medium and you don't want to focus on the source, you need to select a primary dimension. So when you select the primary dimension, you go, if you can see here, you go at the top part of the page, next to source and medium, you have the option to say source, medium, or other. You go for medium, and then you will have a more specific look to it. So it will gather all the mediums on one column, as you can see: organic, referral, email, feed. And then since we're trying to understand visits and bounce rate, those are the two dimensions that we're interested to know about. We can see that it will show us the percent of bounce rates and the percent of visits respectively to each medium. For instance, an organic, so people went onto the website, typed a certain keyword, and went and organically got your website and went into it. That made up 5,235 visitors, which shows you that most of your visitors are reaching you from organic search results, versus referrals. You have about 2,961 referrals that are people actually that are on other websites are finding your website and entering your site. Similarly with the bounce rate. What's interesting about the bounce rate is that it shows you which medium works best for you. For instance, you have the email medium works really well for you, as the bounce rate is the least. It's like minus 26.96%. So it's the least bounce rate there. So people that actually enter your website by clicking on emails go into that website and stay on it more, react with it more, interact with it more, than, of course, more than, for example, feed. So if they find your website from a certain social media feed, they enter and then they're out darkly. The bounce rate is quite high. So that would give you a much better overview of which medium works better for you. Now, you can, in the all traffic report, you can understand the site usage. So when you click on site usage, you see the number of visits, the pages per visit, the average visit duration, the percent of new visits, and the bounce rate. So it gives you user engagement metrics, which are very important. But it's very important for you to know which medium or source is more relevant for you. It's more valuable for you, and that is why you need to look into the goal sets to see how many goals were converted based on each of the buckets that we discussed earlier. So with seeing the goals, you can see out of the number of visits how many people actually converted. You can divide by source and medium and have a better understanding. For instance, the people that came from email, since they interacted better with your website, that means they are actually going to convert, and they converted the number of goals that were completed was much higher for email. That means you need to focus on sending out more emails because it's a better medium for you. So as you can see here, similarly, if you have an e-commerce website, you can have as well an understanding of how many transactions you had. Based on that transactions, what was the average value that you had, so how valuable it was for you, the conversion rate, and much more. So just by clicking e-commerce, you have all those values and you'll have a better understanding. As well, here you'll see a similar table to what we saw earlier, but for e-commerce, because it gives you, rather than bounce rates, here we selected e-commerce conversion rate. So for example, for the email, you have 409.73% conversion rate, which is a very high conversion rate, which, as I mentioned, means you need to focus on sending out more emails because it's a better medium for you. So it's very interesting that in that report you can filter many categories, whether you're into the bounce rate, the visits, the conversions, the goal completions, medium, or by source. You can have a better overview of how the traffic, or how the user coming from which specific traffic is interacting with your website. Now, to go more specifically into each of the buckets, let's start with the direct traffic. So direct traffic is very straight to the point. People are going into Chrome, they're typing your website, www.abc.com, on the top of the page, entering the website, and they're directly there. So they were not referred to you. It was not an ad that they were interested in and clicked on. It was not a search result that they got as a result of typing a certain keyword on the search result. It's just very simple. People typed the word and went in. Now, what's interesting for direct traffic is that it shows you exactly what is the page that people are searching for. So you can see the exact landing page that people are typing in. It could be the home page, www.cardinalpath.com, and the bounce rate is quite good. So it's like 38.5, so it's a low bounce rate. However, you will notice that people that are searching for the blog, which is www.cardinal/path.com/blog, they're landing on that page. The bounce rate is quite high, which means for you that this page either requires some editing to make it more attractive and the user is not very interested, or maybe this page is not loading quite fast, so people are just bored of waiting for it to load, or even maybe this page is just not necessary to have on the website and you just remove it. So there's many actions you can take based on the information you see in this report. Now, to take a closer look, you can see here you do the plot rows and you choose for the landing page, for example, and for another page, you'd like to understand how did they start the visit. So where did the direct traffic land or start their visit? When they reach the website, and then if you look closely, you can see each landing page's bounce rate. Now, so as we mentioned earlier, it shows you that information. But if you want to have a better understanding, other than the information we just discussed, you go into you do plot rows. So you select the websites, you do plot rows, and now you'll see which of the pages are receiving steady traffic to each page, and if certain pages have sudden spikes in direct traffic. So here you can see that the visits increase suddenly for the page, for the blog page at a certain point, whereas for the home page it was quite constant. It did not. There were no spikes there. So the plot, having the plot view would actually give you a better understanding on the times and might explain to you why at a certain time did you see that spike. It could be that you just posted something on that blog and people just reacted during that time, and that was it. That's only when it's important. So you can understand maybe during those times I should put that blog post. Now, direct traffic, quite to the point, very easy. Everything you can know is which landing page has a better bounce rate, where are people landing, how are they reacting, are there any spikes, are there any spikes at certain hours. That's what the direct traffic would show you. What's more interesting is the referral traffic. The referral traffic shows you which websites were the users on, and based on them, based on those websites, so which websites were they on, and on them they found your link, and by clicking on your link they went into to your website. So they were referred to your website. For example, here you have LinkedIn.com or servicesgoogle.com. Actually, by having the users on those websites, people found your site, clicked on it, and visited, let's say, 561 times, and the bounce rate was quite low at 34.76, which means people were actually interested after they found you on from the services.google.com. However, if we look at facebook.com, they had only 72 visits that visitors that were on Facebook and actually found your website, and the bounce rate was quite high at 72.22%, which means people that are coming in from Facebook are not very much interested in your product as much as people coming in from the services.google.com page. What's interesting is that you can go and check the referral path. So from the adwords.support.com, from the services.google.com website, which specific page did they find your link on? And that is what you find in the referral path. You can see that ads underscore inquiry / seminars is the page where people found your website and they clicked on it. Okay, so the third type of traffic is the search traffic, and as I discussed earlier, search traffic is divided into organic search traffic and paid search traffic. The organic is the ones that are natural. People actually just type in a certain keyword, and based on that keyword, they visit your website, and they don't pay when they click on the website that came as a result of typing in a certain keyword. Whereas the paid is when they type in, let's say, certain keyword on Google search, and then they clicked on the search result and they went there. Or it could be if they saw a banner ad as well, if we're talking about a display campaign, if they saw a banner ad, they clicked on your banner ad and they went into your website as well. It's paid. So it's your advertising efforts here. So the paid shows you the advertising, the organic shows you the SEO efforts. So if you have your website search engine optimized, then people should see your website more as an organic result, and people would click on it organically, and you don't need to pay. So paid is either paid or sponsored. So it could be either YouTube, or it could be a banner. It could be if you're email advertising. So it's a sponsored one. And you have a CPC or PPC, which they're both the same. So it's pay per click or cost per click. So as I mentioned, see your website or not. Whereas the non-paid search, it's organic, it's natural. It depends on your search engine optimization there. So as well, if you want to have a better understanding of which keywords are resulting in traffic, you have the primary dimension, you select keywords as a secondary dimension, and then you can see there, for example, blue widget results in higher visitors than bulk widgets, because that means that blue widgets is people are searching for it more, and that way you will focus on that keyword. As well with big data technologies, WordPress, all of that. Now, it's very important to note that when you're looking at the keywords page, there's a huge number of keywords, but the rows you can see them only by default, it's 10, but in reality, they're not only 10 keywords. So what you need to do is just show rows, click on 10, and select a much larger number, so it will give you more keywords to work with. Now, let's say you're interested in filtering the keywords. You want to have a better understanding on certain keywords and certain visits, or you want to have a better understanding of which are the best performing keywords for you, which keywords are resulting in highest visitors. So you filter your reports. You can filter your reports by typing in the white box, and then of course you change the number of rows, or you can as well go and add a dimension or metric. You can say you're interested in bounce rate for a certain and high bounce rate in visits, and you can have as well both, so visits, bounce rates, You filter them out, you include them, and then it will show you exactly which keywords were you will have which keywords were based on your filters. So for example, highest bounce rate, highest visitors, and you will have that, and that would be the result in front of you. So rather than having, let's say, 1,000 keywords that appeared at the beginning, because those are all the keywords that people reach your website from, now we have only 27 keywords that are filtered out because you have selected an advanced filter that takes into consideration the number of visitors, the bounce rate, and the keywords themselves. Now, after we look into that, we need to look, after we discuss search traffic, we look into campaign traffic, which is how your campaigns are working. You can see here that 60.90%, and that is something you can see in analytics. So you can see that 60.99% of your visitors come from search traffic, so either paid or organic. You have referral traffic. You have 14.90%, and direct traffic 22.56%. So people that are actually typing in your website, they actually know about you. And whereas the everything else is what we consider campaigns traffic, and that's usually here it's the lowest, 1.54%. A campaign's traffic could be under AdWords campaigns. It could be a display campaign, or it could be email. So you go into acquisitions and you see the traffic from there. You understand from your campaigns which campaigns are working better for you. So AdWords campaign, email, you can see exactly the campaign it is, and then you can understand from your campaigns how many people actually got to know about you and went into your website. We've discussed earlier in many Hangouts, in order for us to track AdWords campaigns or email campaigns, you need to have a tag set on your website pages. So you all need, when you do an analytics account, you have the analytics code, you paste it on all your pages, and then it will be easier. And as well then you link your AdWords and analytics account. By just linking them, you will have a better understanding of how many conversions, and how many people entered your website because of that campaign, and this respective bounce rate. So let's say they saw your ad, they clicked on it, they went into the campaign, and but they stayed on the page for literally for nothing. So the bounce rate was quite high. So that way you'd know that maybe this landing page for this campaign is not as appropriate. So what's interesting, what we need to note here is that the campaigns here it's more specific in terms of which campaign led to a visit. This would as well be included as part of the paid search, because a campaign will get your ads to appear and people click on that ad and they pay. Then in terms of traffic, you'll see it under paid, and then to be more specific, you see under the paid which campaigns actually resulted in a certain, like you have a more specific view of which paid campaign resulted in conversion or a certain bounce rate. So as well, here the goal conversion, you can see that the email winter specials are actually converting quite well. And to check email campaigns, you use UTM tagging, for instance. So it could be either you set up a GSP campaign on AdWords, but it will appear as GSP campaign in analytics, or you set a UTM tag on the links that you send out via email. So when people click on it, we can know exactly that this traffic came from email and it's part of your paid search and it's converting best. As well, holiday TV ads, you use UTM tagging in order to understand ads. Based on those UTM tags, you would know how many people came in from watching your, because they watched your holiday TV ad, they came into the website, and if they converted or not, so you can evaluate the success of that. So that would be it for today. We went through the importance of understanding your traffic. Where are your users coming from? Are they converting or not? Are they staying on the website? Are they staying on your website enough time to convert, or are they just bouncing out of the website? It helps you evaluate the performance in general. Where should you optimize? Is it your campaigns, or is it your landing page that might be a problem, or should you focus on one source more than another because you saw that one source is more successful than the other? If you have any questions on anything I said today, please do contact us. You can reach out to us through a phone, email, or chat. We're available from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. UAE time. So it's 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. Dublin time or Irish time. You can reach us anytime during the day. During that time slot, we would be more than happy to support you on spot or answer your questions on spot. If you'd prefer to reach out to us via email, you can send us an email and you should expect a response within 24 hours. As well, we always love to have your information, your question sent to us on our Google Partners page through hashtag #AskArabia. We'd look into them and we will answer your questions on March 23rd, which is our Q&A hangout on air. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next one.